Happy N owners, N-FullSend. Today's video, we're going to be swapping out the summer wheels and skins for winter wheels and skins. Now, it's dropped in temperature, and I'm going to tell you right now, these Pirelli P0s, man, they're like driving around on hockey pucks right now. It takes a while for them to heat up, and when it drops below like 50s, 40s, it's good for the car. The car loves that cold air. However, our tires do not. Before we jack the car up, let's go ahead and untorque our lug nuts on the rear and the front. These four are 21 millimeter. Now your lug key looks like this, and they do provide this when you buy this car. It's in the trunk. Just lift up that floorboard. It's underneath. You get 4 extra lugs and this key. So what you're going to want to do, as you can tell, it's the same star shape as that lock. And what you're going to do is go ahead and put that in there, line it up. Now these are 21, that's a 21 millimeter. So you just take your 21 millimeter, put it on the end, untorque it. Now that we have all of our lugs loosened, well, untorqued rather, we're going to jack it up. Put the jack stands underneath where I showed you in my oil change how-to video and how to properly jack this car up. Same thing. So I gotta take some time out right now for the video because my wife made me some kapun, and I'm telling you right now, if you don't know what that is, you have to taste it. It looks good. I'll show you what it is. That is kapun, and it is spicy goodness. What I did do off camera is took the front and rear tire off. I went ahead and cleaned the rotors, the calipers with brake cleaner, wiped everything down, and inspected all of my brake system to make sure everything's good. Unfortunately, this year I was not able to race due to COVID. 2020 is almost over, guys, so hopefully next year, I'm hoping. So I went ahead and inspected, clean, and then inspect. I don't have any gouges on my rotors. There's no wear patterns or anything like that. As you can tell, it's pretty clean. Checked my calipers, we're good there. My brake pads, still good. Gotta, hopefully next year, get the race, but as you can tell, my calipers are nice and red now, and let's get to these wheels. If you have a setup like I have, you only run your winters just for the winters, and then you take them off during spring. What I did forget to do when I took these off was label which ones were on the front. Now don't worry, I will show you how to tell which ones were on the front and which ones on the rear, because this season I'm going to rotate them. Unlike, you know, your all season where you rotate them every 30 or whatever miles, 1,000 miles. With your winters, if you're just running them in winter, you want to rotate them for that season. And I did forget to label them. However, we can still tell due to the wear on the outside of the tire, and I'll show you that now. So now these are Yokohama ice guards that I got, and I got these from Tire Rack. I got the wheel set up. They're American Racing. I just went with a cheap rim because it's a winter tread, it's a winter rim, it's only for winter. So I went what I could just get the cheapest good deal on that, you know, they're not real bad, but they're going to be all right just for the winter. So with your tread, you're going to see the inside or outside tread here. So I know this one was on the front. And the reason why I know that is because of this wear right here. You see, I don't have, let's see if I get, yep, there you go, it's in focus. See how that's kind of smooth? And then you look at this one and you have those lines coming down. I know this was on the rear. This one was on the front because of that wear. As you can tell, those stripes going diagonal are on the rear right here, and they're missing from the front because I'm steering. It's going to rub these off. That's the outside tread of your front wheel. So I know this one has got to go in the front, this one has got to go into the rear. These tires are rotational. What do I mean by that? Well, you look at your wheel well, and you're going to see it says rotation, and it has an arrow pointing forward. What does that mean, really? So, if you're moving forward, your tire is going to rotate like this, correct? It's moving with the arrow going forward, so it's going to rotate forward like that. Now this one, I know, was on the front last season. This one is going to the rear, the passenger rear, because this is the one that we distinguished that was on the front. Now because it is rotational, it's going to go forward like this with the arrow. We need to put this one on the passenger rear. This one we're going to put on the passenger front. Before you put your winter treads on, check the PSI of the tire. Make sure it's between 35 and 40 before you put it on. That way when you lower the car, you know it's not going to compress and hit your rim or pop, or the bead pops, anything like that. When I ordered these, it came with its own lug nuts. You're going to want to use the lug nuts that came with that wheel. On the left, we have factory, the factory wheels, factory lug nut. On the right, we have the lug nut that came with the wheels. As you can see, different profile, different shapes. We need to use what came with the wheels. As you can tell, we got the wheel on. Now when you put this on, what you're going to want to do is just snug them up, snug up your lugs. The way you're going to want to snug them up is in a star pattern. Got the wheels on, we dropped it down. Now what we're going to want to do is go ahead and torque our lug nuts. And those are 79.6 to 94 foot-pounds. Using the star pattern, go ahead and go in the happy medium between, the 79.6 and 94. But if you're in that parameter, you're good to go. Now what we're going to do is the same thing with the passenger side as we did with the driver's side. So what I'm doing now is taking a ride, making sure that my wheels are good. They're not going to fall off. I don't hear any noises. And as you can see, this road is a pretty good one to test your wheels out. What I am going to do is when I get back, I'll check tire pressure again, and then we'll check the torque one last time on the lug nuts. And that way we know we're good and our tires are good to go. And this road, man, I like this road. As you can tell, it's pretty windy. It's a pretty nice road to test your car out on. But let's get back to the garage and we'll check that tire pressure and torque one more time, and we should be good to go. We're back in the garage. I went ahead and checked the tire pressure and the torque on the lug nuts. We're all good to go there. My wheels didn't fall off. That's a good thing. My setup here is an 18-inch. The factories are 19. And I don't know as if I'd go any lower than an 18. I think a 17 would be a really tight fit. I guess some people have done it. I wouldn't. But with my setup, I did not get the TPMS system in this setup, so throughout the winter I'm going to have to come out and just check tire pressure because it's not going to read on the gauge inside there in the cab. But that's no big deal. I mean, it's just 2 seconds and I saved money on it, so hey, if you like my videos, go ahead and subscribe. You'd help me, I'll help you. As always, you guys drive safe.